This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, around 30 people showed solidarity with the Indigenous people of West Papua by gathering around Dunedin's Peace Pole. A Broad Bay school pupil's artwork will feature on the Prime Minister's Christmas cards this year. And a workshop was held in Queenstown recently to help volunteers get better results when trapping pests. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Around 30 people gathered at Dunedin's Peace Pole today, showing solidarity with the Indigenous people of West Papua. Their actions involved raising the West Papuan flag, which they say would get you sent to prison on the island nation.
Acts of solidarity and defiance.
On the 1st of December, all around the world, people fly the flag of independent West Papua because the people of West Papua themselves are not allowed to own or fly the flag, and if they do, they might find themselves in jail without a trial and for a very long time.
Yeah, it's against the law, so it's considered treason to raise the Morning Star flag in West Papua, which is why we do it here and everywhere else in the world that you can do it without having to go to jail.
Around 30 protesters gathered at the Peace Pole on the Otago Museum lawn this afternoon, standing up for the Indigenous people of West Papua. Protesters Otessa Tuisila and Aisha Pahiu say they have an understanding of what West Papuans are going through.
I guess that's what active colonialism looks like. Since we actually have I'm Samoan, Asian Samoan, so we gained our independence in 62, and in 61 was the last time that West Papua got to raise their flag, so they were annexed a few weeks after they got to raise their flag. So for the same amount of time that we've enjoyed independence from New Zealand, West Papua has been under this colonial rule of Indonesia.
Barbara Frame has been the convener of West Papua Support Dunedin for a few years and says when she first organised an event on December the 1st, 10 people showed up. So she's pleased to have tripled that this year. She says the 40-year plight of West Papuans isn't well known for a variety of reasons.
Journalists are not welcome. Outside journalists are not welcome in West Papua. And if they're allowed to get in, they're very severely constrained in what they can see and who they can talk to.
Barbara Frame says there are students from West Papua studying at the University of Otago, but they can't take part in protests against Indonesia as they risk losing scholarships from the Indonesian government. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Fire and Emergency New Zealand is upgrading its fire season status for the Otago region. It's scenes like this which Fire and Emergency New Zealand hope to avoid by placing Otago in a restricted fire season. FENZ has declared that today will mark the season's beginning, which is in place until further notice. This means a permit is required to light a fire outdoors. A restricted fire season has been in place for the Central Zone since the start of October, but now covers the entire Otago region. FENZ says if you've had a permitted fire, you must make sure it is completely out before leaving the scene. 12-year-old Broad Bay pupil Mila is stoked to have her artwork featured on the back of the Prime Minister's Christmas cards this year. Mila entered the competition earlier this year and didn't expect her work to be chosen.
It's not every day your artwork ends up being used by the PM. But the reality came as a bit of a surprise for Broad Bay school pupil Mila Shooten Richardson, as the 12-year-old had no idea she'd been selected.
At first, well, they didn't send me an email, so I didn't really know, and then Dad was just scrolling through his Instagram, and then we just kind of watched it thinking, well, we'll just see who won it, not thinking that we had gotten it, because, they didn't send anything. We watched it, and then Mum and Dad screamed super loud that I started crying, and I didn't really take notice of it at first.
Mila's picture is one of about 2,800 entries into the competition and will feature on the back cover of all of the Christmas cards and potentially in Ardern's photo album.
Usually on the back of my Christmas card I put a family photo. I don't have a particularly good updated family photo of me, Clark and Neve, so this year, courtesy of Mila, who is 12, we're going to be using this on the back of all of our Christmas cards. So thank you, Mila, for my updated family portrait.
Mila's winning pictures of the Prime Minister chasing daughter Neve around on a pet lamb, while trying to get the youngster to sit down for the fishy Christmas dinner caught and cooked by her dad, Clark Gayford. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Otago regional councillors are vying for more input on the future of South Dunedin. ORC councillors have been presented with 3 options from staff which could allow them to have more influence on decisions made around South Dunedin's infrastructure. The ORC has spent the last 15 years working to understand the effects of climate change on South Dunedin and the Harbourside area. A report to the ORC shows while the Regional Council and DCC have tried to align their separate work, the work is unlinked and progressing separately. A workshop on trapping introduced predators was held in Queenstown recently. With more than 50 trapping projects active in the Wakatipu Basin, the Department of Conservation is keen to show volunteers how they can get the best results for their efforts.
Trapping introduced predators such as stoats in order to protect our native birds is something being done by passionate volunteers across the country. But according to Department of Conservation Senior Biodiversity Ranger Lisa Thurlow, a little bit of advice, even on what to use as bait, can make all the difference.
Trying to attract a carnivorous stoat with an apple, which is more common than you would think.
The dozen people attending a predator trapping workshop in Queenstown learned that surveying the wildlife you're trying to protect is an important part of any predator control project.
Because it's all too common for people to just trap and trap and trap, and you don't actually have any record of how what you've done. Like, have your numbers of birds increased? Has your vegetation regrown? So it's really good to get people thinking, how can I measure my success of the program?
Thurlow says having statistics to show the success of a project can help when applying for further funding.
You know, this is volunteer groups. There's not endless pools of money, but there is funding streams out there. So it's really making them see, with a good project design, and some outcome monitoring, how you can apply that to applying for more funding for your project.
The coordinator of a project to protect Kia on the Remarkables range says the workshop gave insights on how to improve the effectiveness of their trapping program.
At the moment we kind of have 2 lines, one that we can drive, one we can walk, with a gap in between, and we've learned on this course that we should try to close that gap.
In the past 3 years, the number of trapping projects run by community groups and businesses in the Wakatipu Basin has increased from about a dozen to more than 50. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, members of the public in perfect health get to go behind the scenes at Oamaru Hospital, and we check out the fun fair of a recent North Canterbury A&P show. Ka kite a koe nei.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, Al Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these merino pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every week. reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
For over 100 years, Presbyterian Support has been helping people in your region through all conditions, ages and stages of life. Our Enliven and Family Work services are always there when you need them. People in your community are facing unprecedented challenges and they need your help. By making a donation to your local Presbyterian Support in South Canterbury, Otago or Southland, you'll be helping us to help people where you live. Together we can make a difference. We are people helping people.
Hoki mai anō. The public were invited to a behind-the-scenes look at how hospitals run in Oamaru. The event was the first of what will hopefully become many annual events dedicated to interacting with the community. Oamaru's hospital's first community open day was about connecting and understanding the healthcare needs of the North Otago community. Hundreds of people attended the event, with nurses setting up stations, testing people's blood sugar, checking pulses, demonstrating how to correctly administer bandages and using UV light to show germs on people's hands. The Otago Rescue Helicopter, St John and Fire and Emergency New Zealand were on site throughout the day. The Stroke Foundation of New Zealand tested blood pressure, occupational therapists and physiotherapists demonstrated movement difficulties, and the Women's Health Bus and Age Concern also provided information. A record crowd has flocked to the Kuwi Showgrounds for the 145th Courtney A&P show. With autumn and spring shows cancelled due to COVID-19 uncertainties, show president Richard Westaway says the event was well attended, getting about 5,000 people through the gates.
Crowds have flocked to the 145th Courtney A&P show at Kuwi's Showgrounds. Organisers say around 2,700 paying adults passed through the gate. Show president Richard Westaway has a long family connection with the event.
Yeah, it's 100 years ago today. My great-grandfather Frank was the president of the Courtney A&P show, so I'm honoured to be following his long dusty footprints.
He estimates with children under 16 free to enter, exhibitors, members and guests added to the mix, there was a crowd of more than 5,000 people. Westaway says entries were strong across the board, with sheep and beef cattle entries up on last year, which he puts down to the effects of COVID-19.
The few at the end of last year were dealt to, and I think most of them this year. All the spring shows have pretty much been cancelled, which is a disappointment. But can't do anything about it, so that's how it works.
There are many attractions on offer, from crazy bikes to a piglet petting pen to keep people entertained. Westaway says with it being 100 years since his grandfather ran the show, his choice of theme for this year's event was pretty simple.
Yes, my theme this year is then and now, 1920 to 2020, and just trying to get a bit of an idea of what he had back in 1920 and what we've got today.
He says with COVID, the lead up to the event was uncertain, and he's pleased the show's gone ahead without a hitch. with many people marvelling at the machines of yesteryear. In Courtenay, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we see if a Sitchin time really does save 9 in Alexandra, and the jolly guy in the red suit pays a visit to Dunedin Pets. Hea koko akinai.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Do PVC windows and doors. PVC is 9% more efficient than standard aluminium and 60% more efficient than thermally broken aluminium. It's multi-chambered, you don't get any condensation through the frame. And if you put decent glass in, you get a big difference to aluminium.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, Al Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these merino pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World. Right.
No mai no, welcome back. A relaunched sewing group has returned to help foster aroha among mums throughout the Alexandra district. Ura Whenua Health is offering the initiative, which is part of the Mama Pepe Rupu, a program where mums with new babies get together and sew. A similar initiative was stopped 5 years ago, but Ura Ura Whenua decided to relaunch the program after COVID-19. Ura Ura Whenua Health Whānau Order Navigator Liv Gardner says it's designed to foster relationships, a sense of community and aroha among mums with new babies. Pets and their owners have gotten the chance to meet Santa paws at Nichols Pet Centre. Photos were available with a gold coin donation to raise funds for a pet-friendly cause.
The festive season has begun for both humans and their four-legged friends at Dunedin's Nichols Pet Centre with Santa Paws Day. The annual event allows people and their pets to get a photograph with Father Christmas. And Annabelle Roy says they're expecting all manner of pets to turn up.
So it's not just for dogs. We've had chickens. Today we've had a rat that actually went down Santa's jacket for a moment. Chickens, horses. We've had birds today. We'll get cats today, guinea pigs. So it's any good animal who's been a good animal this year is allowed to come and get a photo with Santa, and then the families join in as well, which is really nice.
David Dyker has played Santa since the idea began 4 years ago and has even had tortoises and kuni pigs come in for their photo. However, he admits his personal pets are limited to those circling around in a fish tank.
No, I haven't got pets, but I've got goldfish. But all my friends have got dogs and that, so I love animals, so it's a dream job really.
Nichols have set up the Santa Paws event to raise funds for a pet-friendly worthy cause.
So it's a fundraising event. It's our annual fundraiser for the SPCA. Last year we raised $2,000. It's a gold coin donation for anybody who wants a photo with Santa and their pet. They just come on and join the queue, and we take the photo and then we post it on our Facebook page for free downloading.
This coming weekend will see Santa Paws Day being held at Nichols in Invercargill and in Cromwell the following weekend. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Around 30 people showed solidarity with the Indigenous people of West Papua by gathering around Dunedin's Peace Pole. A Broad Bay school pupils' artwork will feature on the Prime Minister's Christmas cards this year. And a workshop was held in Queenstown recently to help volunteers get better results when trapping pests. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have editor Barry Stewart with us this evening. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello Simon. Special edition of Fresh and the ODT shopping guide in your newspaper tomorrow. So all the inspiration you need for food and shopping for Christmas. So there you go, we've sorted out what you're going to eat.
I've been looking for something like that.
And gift guide, so sorted. So get the paper tomorrow and be organised.
Great.
University of Otago professor has found a rock near Wanaka that is 2.7 billion years old, more than 5 times the age of the previously oldest known New Zealand rocks.
Wow.
There you go, eh? I'm not sure how you can determine, it'll be all in the story, I'm sure. Queenstown Lakes District has been added to the list of places where employers can get new work visas for immigrants wanting to work in certain hospitality jobs. So some relief for the people in that region. New national freshwater regulations designed to protect wetlands could backfire, hurting rather than helping the environment in the south, according to a University of Otago pilot study. And the Otago Regional Council, who have just finished meeting, have came out strongly and said they want to be involved in any decision making regarding the future of South Dunedin. So a strong plea there.
That's great, Barry. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view taken of the almost complete animal testing laboratory, which is certain to ruffle a few feathers. Looking at the situation, a very strong northwest airflow increases over southern districts tomorrow, ahead of a cold front and then very strong westerly airflow on Thursday. Expect gales around the region in the next hours. Starting in the northwest of the South Island, an overcast 16 degrees for Westport and 18 for Greymouth, which may also experience some scattered showers. To the top of the island, where it's 19 degrees and cloudy for both Nelson and Blenheim tomorrow. Across to the northeast, it's cloudy here too, getting slightly warmer as we track down the coast. 19, 20 and 21 degrees for Kaikoura, Christchurch and Ashburton. To the southern towns, it's rain by afternoon at least across this region. 15 for Gore and Lumsden, 16 for Balclutha, and the Catlins reaches 17 degrees. Up the island a bit, it's mostly more of the same. Te Anau with rain and 15 degrees. Wanaka and Queenstown expecting rain later on and 17 degrees. Queenstown also in store for gale northwesterlies. Alexandra should avoid the wild weather, cloud increasing and 19 degrees. Further north still, Twizel and Omarama with cloud increasing and 19 degrees as well. Warmer still on the coast as Timaru and Oamaru's 21 degree high is accompanied by high cloud. And it's cloudy in Dunedin tonight with an overnight low of 11 degrees. Milder tomorrow as morning cloud gives way to a sunny stretch. However, gusty, strong northwesterlies should develop during the evening. A high of 19 and a low of 12. And on Thursday, periods of both sun and high cloud accompany strong, gusty westerly winds. A high of 17 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill tonight, high cloud increasing with freshening northwesterlies and an overnight low of 10 degrees. The cloud ushers rain tomorrow afternoon as northwest winds increase. A risk of gales during the evening and even thunderstorms. A high of 18 and a low of 9. The rough weather continues Thursday with showers and strong to near gale force westerly winds. A high of 15 and a low of 9 degrees. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.